do we really need to get budgets to fund our own passion? Are you not passionate in acting? Do you need to get paid each time you have to act? Then how passionate are you? If you can't do it without money, then it's not a passion.
It's not.
It's just something that you build. It's a funny trick. I don't know what it is, but without money, then just know that thing is not a passion.
Yeah.
So that's where I know with Mina, I'm different in that sense. I'm going to fight. Just know right now, as I'm telling you, I have not worked for this long. The next time you see me, you are yourself will know that yes, this person is a fighter.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fighter.
I'm
a fighter, guys. Like,
I like that.
So, and the thing is,
To ownership now.
yes.
That's the importance of it all.
It becomes, more of an opportunity, more exposure, and so forth. But it's something where now it's still a work in progress, because our Netflix is not the same as global Netflix. That you have to understand.
I did not know that.
We are a local Netflix.
Excuse
Our
me.
rates,
Elaborate.
everything that I'm speaking of, we are not getting the global Netflix salaries. So we are not there yet.
Excuse
I
me.
heard someone say this.
You know what I mean?
Having committed to a character, how do you then step out and go back to Abdul? After you've had an entire maybe emotional scene the whole day, organic, as you said, in Ipatla the whole day, how do you then deconstruct and get back to Abdul?
Mina, I've got my own ways because on a daily, I'm a meditator. On a daily, I have silent moments of speaking to myself. I have ways of, I spend that time, in gearing myself into Ngangena. And even prayer. You know what I mean? Like prayer is a very, very big part of meditating. You know what I mean? So you try and always pull it off that. Then things went dry. When things went dry, I was like, no, I went going back home. And I went back home. I went back home. Even went back to my old job as a fireman. And it wasn't
After
easy.
being a celebrity.
Listen to me. It was not easy.
It must be really
You understand?
hard.
Imagine, here I am. From
to work
intersections,
and
jumping
people on
back into a taxi, going to work. They're like, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. That's so.
How did you then go back?
If there's one thing I am blessed with in this life.
Welcome to Offset Podcast. Offset to Onset, the ultimate podcast and platform designed to educate, promote, and market the film industry for a brighter and more inclusive future.
Film and art lovers, welcome to another episode of From Offset to Onset. I'm your host, Speech the Dreamer, and of course, forever, I'm with my two forever ride or dies. First up, the one and only actress, Lisa Serami. Chonakora. And of course, secondly, the queen, the one and only reality TV star villain, Kanya Mtsaka.
Thank God I'm a ghost today, guys. Jeesh.
Okay, Madam Ghost, it's going to be an interesting episode. And because namhlanje we have the esteemed honor to welcome the most incredible actor in my eyes, and of course the family's eyes too.
We agree.
Nizambona igama lakhe Abdul Khoza.
Hank.
Welcome.
Mamela into endiyaziyo mna zininzi izinto ezinozithetha when it comes to lo bhuti Abdul Khoza. I mean, this guy has done martial arts and he's a musician and he's an actor. I mean, what a class act. And of course, what I love about our platform is that sizawubanale guest ke ngoku abantu abaninzi banemibuzo. They have speculations about artists and actors. And now we have that opportunities to even sing our praises. I think there's many praises that need to go to this type of arts. Actors are incredible beings. They tell our stories and they show us what the world looks like outside of our own worlds.
Yes, of course.
So what a time!
What a time.
What a time!
And Abdul, speaking of class act, we know that that's where your journey started, or rather, that's what I know of.
Yes.
How did you even find out about the auditions, number one?
Yeah.
And number two, how did it feel having to audition in front of legends? Orapulana, Munyin Lee.
Yeah. Yazin, I was a fireman at the time.
Okay.
So yazi kwaba nje inhlanhla, to be honest with you. Umuntu wathi mayibuya kade siyocisha nje in town. Masifika sikhipha ikhaftini sesofudumeza, sidle at the fire station, only to find this advert comes on, yabona. And that was actually advert ya Class Act season 2.
Yes.
And date yakhona had said ngakusasa, which was the following day. So, initially we city movie, so we were watching with intent, of knowing idlala nini le.
Yes.
Only to find it's Class Act auditions season 2, which I didn't even know season 1, So I promised the guys, because I saw, the way it was shot,
Yes.
there was this guy doing martial arts there, the woman doing martial arts too, the helicopter stunts, there was everything, So I saw, this is the type of things that I like, So I said, I enjoy, without knowing, I'm going to change my entire life with this thing. But it was a bet, just a bet amongst guys, emsebenzini. So they started betting in front of me.
Wow.
Bayaganga laba, so I said, laba bangibhetshele, trust me.
Yes, I'll
I'm
make
going
it.
there. So yeah, yaqala kanjalo.
And you did.
Took a chance in life.
Oh my
Being a
goodness.
firefighter.
Yeah.
I didn't know
was still a
that.
firefighter
That's
then.
crazy, yeah.
And how did your life change then from being a firefighter to being an entire actor? How did people react to you, and especially people that know you
That
personally?
knew, yeah.
Impilo yashintsha, it did. Overnight, it was one of those things where, abantu sebeyakwazi, we had people coming to the fire station. There was some school kids that would line up to say, where's Abdul? We want to take pictures. We want to see. So, yaqala umsebenzi wami.
Yeah.
Because my name singathesiswa phela umsebenzi. Hey, kunabantu laba abavimba indlela. Half the time, the trucks are not being able to go out because
You've got a celebrity now.
Yeah. Your star was becoming
they want
bigger.
pictures, they want to, you know what I mean? So I think Nami, as much as I was trying to prolong the process of resigning, because impilo yashintsha overnight. And I wasn't trying to let it, ibe into izongenza ngithatha ama decision nje nami noma kanjani.
Yeah.
So I had to sit down, think about it. I did some at least 4 or 5 months of work
wow.
still, after winning the show.
Wow.
Yeah, so I took my time,
Okay.
because I still had to move to Joberg, phela mangabe sengithatha. So handed in my resignation now, but with enough time to obviously, accept and allow, what's packing up. So yeah, that's how it all happened.
What
for
a
me,
responsible gent. I would have left
Crazy.
immediately.
I hear you, but
I guess they are tough calls, but it also shows us in Dokbana, sometimes certain decisions or any decision that you make in life, you have to take your time with it because it's going to be what's part of your future going forward. But he's been part of many other things and many other productions. We can name a few here in Mzansi and even international. This is quite a big one.
International. Is that Shaka Ilembe?
Shaka Ilembe.
Oh, yes, yes.
Award ceremonies also kind of like raises highlights on certain projects that happen within our country. And to have an opportunity to have le chance yahlala no Bhuti wami Abdul Shaka right now and to actually pick those questions, because I feel like going into certain characters needs someone to be in touch with themselves first, because okokuqala masithethe having to pull off a role such as the one you play in Josie Kings of Josie. You're playing a role of being in prison.
yes.
I know that has to do with tapping into a lot to achieve success with that role itself. I want us to talk about the process of doing that. And there's that idea that I just came across when I was going into my own research when it comes to acting, breaking the fourth wall. And I think you have many experiences with doing that. But let's start there.
Understood. Gumina, I have these ways engichaza ngayo acting, you know, the journey itself to me and to someone ofana nami that didn't necessarily go to school for acting. Yabo. So I always like the simplest example I can give you in one of mine is I always tell people ukuthi, you know, you treat a set like a heartbeat, you know? And the reason why I say this is because it's, for instance, like mawubona imoto, like we could have this conversation njengoba sikhuluma saxoxa kudlula imoto eningi la sinakile yabo, but there's khona le one in, you know, in particular ezothi mayidlula iqala kubamba amehlo, you know, we beg, and as you look at it, so many things are going through you, like even your heartbeat start changing, you know, because this car is interesting. I find that you could see, but you're like, you know, whatever. So you get, you know, captured. From ihlo, it goes internal, where you now are feeling yourself in this car somehow. You are moving with this car to a point where my jigi corner of jiga nayo to see how far it's going, because you are captured by that. Like, so that's what we are. You know, we come in because there's so many things you watch on screen. You are changing your remote, you know, every second, damn. Then something captures your eyes. And then you're like, okay. And then from eyes, you know, it becomes internal because now your heartbeat is changing. You know, heart rate yashinja because now you're getting into this, like, you know, you're getting in tune with
gradually.
You know what I mean? So chigi, next thing you know, you captured. I mean, we do this to the point where once we close the curtain, it's like we are heart surgeons. We take your heart out of your chest. We play with it. We throw it up. We roll it on the ground. We do this. But at the end of the day, we give it back to you and we take a bow.
Wow.
Because we have done our service. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we are.
And
so.
I love it because in turn, the people watching, which we can call audience, are now connecting with what the artist is doing. Right? Because I mean, what do they say? Fourth wall, basically in the theater or in the room of acting this, I'd say right, left, and back.
Yes,
right? 3 walls. Then that's the 4th wall. You guys are doing that. You're like taking my heart, you're ripping my heart. Like Superman, you're kicking the door down, basically.
You understand? Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And what you just described is so spiritual.
Yeah.
And I know Ghost Lady had a question about that regarding Shaka Ilembe and what people were saying about the spiritual aspect.
Yes.
Can you take it away?
Actually, speaking about Shaka Ilembe 2, it's streaming on the 15th of June 2025. And I see there's a lot of controversy, like in terms of the stuff that happened on set and off set. I don't know if you're comfortable with talking about it. I know that there was something that had to do with scripts being compromised and people experiencing spiritual trances, should I say, lack of a better word.
Do you know, like Uktagata?
No, not Uktagata per se, because remember, Shaka Ilembe is
A real story.
yeah, so Gabanda Bebe Pila. So apparently some of the actors had, there was like a trance that happened with them and the actual people,
The actors.
the actual actors. Please, can you just take us through that?
The thing is, it's so funny, ngoba we're constantly picking up these roles, you know, and as fictional as they might be, there are some where we will go to an extent of ukuthi kube khona mhlawumbe ama-scenes where niyaphahla, calling ibongo, doing this. So those things, you know, you can't take them lightly.
Yes, you can't.
Ngoba ngempela nisuke nizenza, you know, minus the fact ukuthi nina you are doing it in a so-called, you know, made-up world as a set and whatnot. But you are doing the practicality of busy clothes. So there are instances, not even just Moshaka Zulu. There's been many where ama actors will find themselves going through izinto abangebe kwazi ukuyichaza nabo, you know?
Because ubiza amadlozi.
Because ubiza amadlozi, you know what I mean? You are literally calling upon spirits that do exist. You know, it's not like mhlambe namadlozi or eswabizayo. It's completely made up amagama khona. Ibongo ingekho emhlabeni. You know? So I always say, Nami, like into efana leyo, yes, there's been times, there's been experiences.
My goodness.
Ingakho not only just for Ushaka Zulu.
Okay. Sure.
But the more and more we do these things, you know, zokphahla on screen and what. I mean, I won't lie, like it's, you know, it's iyabani effect yayo.
As it should,
in the long run, yes, because we don't have anything whereby, you know, mawuqeda le role, there's a certain way in which they take you through some waters or whatever the case is.
Yes.
Just
Your cleanse or
but,
something.
you know, but keep it so no one knows ngempela ukuthi how far it can go.
It can
I
go,
mean,
yeah,
you've
for
heard of
sure.
artists killing
The Joker
themselves
even.
you don't think that only ends on, you know, them having to have used a substance to
Yeah.
go that far. You
Yeah.
understand? Like the mind is so powerful that you can literally, you know, transition yourself into
Yeah.
something else.
something
And
else.
then just anxiety, you know, constantly, you know, of
Yeah.
embodying all these roles and all of these
Yeah.
characters, you know,
Yeah.
they certainly have, you know,
My
an effect of
gosh.
their own. So I mean, I think it's something where Nati we try as the artists themselves to be careful, you know, sidlalela kangakanani, you know, and obviously try and still, you know, not lose ourselves
Yeah.
in any way, because
Yes.
no one can really say how far you can
Yeah.
go.
And on the other side, it can also reveal itself to be the beauty of art. You know what I mean? I like to take things a little bit light-hearted. And with that said, would there be some memorable, great experiences, memorable experiences behind the scenes that you
Yeah.
probably think that, you know, zezinye zezinto abantu ababukela i-TV mhlambi abanongayazi?
Yes. No,
that
no,
you've
no. Ziningi. Let me be honest with you. I mean, half the time, cause I'm a very physical, you know, actor in my roles. I mean, I'm always bruised up.
Because you're a stunt, because you're a good stunter,
Yeah,
right?
I do my own stunts.
I mean, I saw you've
like,
been doing the, what do we call that? The
Martial arts.
The
martial arts.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
been doing
yeah.
that like for a long time, right?
Yes.
Included with your firefighting, which means you've got like physical
Yes,
strength.
yes.
So do you think that in turn it works as an advantage because you're doing a lot of like
Definitely. I mean, for me, to know ukuthi umzimba wami, I'm able to use it the way I can. It allows me a lot of opportunities for one alama stance, you know,
Yeah.
whereby I can, you know, plan something myself because I've choreographed most of my things. Most of my stunt fights, most of, you know, stunts that I perform on screen. So. Because Nami, I sort of, you know, like to commit to the character, and obviously, I don't want to, you know, to not do what I was seeing as a child, being inspired by your Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jackie Chan, and whatnot movies. And I know as a guy that, I mean, I have a boy myself, you know, who will one day grow to watch some of my work, right?
course.
So ngiyamfuna ukuthi abe naleya pride, you know, abe inspired even, because, you know, I want to pass on the martial arts, but knowing ukuthi naye he can see, you know, ways of, you know, using it further than just, you know, in the
Is
dojo.
it because it has to do with
self-defense as such?
English discipline? Is it
Yes,
because it has to
yes.
do with discipline? That's why you'd like to share it with your son?
I'm definitely passing that on, because Guamina, I feel like, you know, Ubaba having given this to us, it really helped in so many ways, discipline-wise, like you say. I mean, I didn't have no trouble physically in the army or in the fire service because I'm able to do certain things with my body.
Were you in the army as
flexibility,
well?
this and that. No, I started in the army, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and then
So
the
when I left school, I
firefighting.
started in the army for like 4 years, and then I became a fireman, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
But you said something interesting, which is committing to the character.
Yes.
Right? So having committed to a character, how do you then step out and go back to Abdul? After you've had an entire maybe emotional scene the whole day, organic,
Yes.
as you said, in Pasha the whole day, how do you then deconstruct and get back to Abdul?
Mina, I mean, I've got my own ways, because on a daily, I'm a meditator. On a daily, you know, I have silent moments of speaking to myself. You know, I have ways of, you know, I spend that time, you know, in gearing myself into Ngangena. And I mean, even prayer, you know what I mean? Like prayer is a very, very, like, big part of meditating. You know what I mean? So, lezo zinto, you know, like you try and always pull yourself back, you know, towards yourself, really, you know, because you can get lost in these things. You know, if you think
Definitely.
about
I
it.
can
I mean, you played
imagine.
for so long.
Yeah.
And, you know, kuyenzeka. So, it's just nokuzazi kuyasiza. I always say, you know, stepping into the industry, knowing who you are first before you take on someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my pambanis, you know,
Yeah,
like, so knowing who you are,
Yeah.
you know exactly when you're no longer yourself. You know,
Yes.
you know, relax, you know what I mean?
So does that make it easier to choose roles? First of all,
Yeah.
can we get into that? You know, for that person watching, in order for anyone to get into a role, are there certain expectations that you need to tick off first? Like,
Yeah.
I think one of them is ukzazi, and how will you know that that character speaks to you? Like, do you choose yourself
Yeah.
certain characters, and how has that been for you? Are there challenges when it comes to that, choosing characters, or challenges being chosen for you?
You know what? There are characters I've chosen. There are characters that chose me.
Have you turned down
Interesting.
You
any
understand?
roles?
Yes. I mean,
You've
many.
turned them down?
Yeah.
Money.
Because of knowing yourself. Like
Okay.
we say,
Yeah.
right?
It's not about the
That's
money.
that's where the question is coming from.
Like
yeah.
for instance, sexual,
Okay.
Oh,
roles.
you've rejected those.
Yeah.
Ngeke sithole ku-adulting.
No, I don't think you'll find me on adulting
kidding,
because
I'm kidding,
I think
Frida.
I've also seen the level of
Yeah.
nudity
Too bad.
It's
there. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Mina, unfortunately, you know, Mina, I would go that far in nudity for a slave role. As
Okay,
opposed to
okay,
sexual.
okay.
You understand? Because I'm
Interesting.
about story. I
So
tell
you'd
stories.
rather wear animal skin?
You understand? Like, Mina, it has to really sort of be that important in the story.
I feel
Because I've rejected even roles where were not necessarily sexual, but there were scenes that were sexual. And I've had to question, what's the importance of this?
Ngenaphi?
I think
Because
I
there
know.
are times where, sometimes we wanna entertain the audience
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
at the expense of an actor.
Yeah,
And that's the sad part.
yeah.
You understand? And it's not, I'm not saying it's intentionally done.
Yeah.
I understand me. But I'm saying, because obviously everyone is coming from an angle of, sort of wanting to, cater to the audience.
Yeah.
So the writers want to cater to the audience. Wardrobe wants to cater to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even wardrobe
Yeah.
is styling you over because, they're telling their own story because everyone is telling a story. Remember this.
Yeah.
So this is what makes my life easier, Mina. For example, firstly, I'm not myself. Something I understand easily. I'm an actor maning. I feel it's that thing of, when you get in a room and you are still yourself.
Yes.
It starts there, because,
Yes.
then you have problems with maybe wardrobe because they're not necessarily dressing you in things that you know what I mean? But then you're forgetting they are telling a story through you.
Yes,
You are the
yes.
vessel, you have to allow all these things to be
It's not
done
about
through
you.
because there's something we are all trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Makeup, wardrobe, like everyone on set, even the people that are styling your set themselves
Yeah.
are trying to achieve something.
Yes.
So siyasebenzisana. It's a real collaborative work in this industry,
Yeah.
to be honest. Yabona? Wonke umuntu must come together.
Yes.
So you allow wardrobe to tell a story, you allow makeup to tell a story. Sometimes you don't like the makeup because
Yeah.
whatever. But usually not men, because I think about
Yeah,
let's shout out and
Yeah,
don't
it's over.
have time
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us. You know what I mean? There's not much to do. We don't have lashes.
But they
nothing.
do make up some bruises or marks.
Yes,
or
I mean for
scars.
that, yeah.
Okay.
We go in, we get bruises, we get everything. But in Gizamuguti, at the end of the day, when you step in there, you just allow everyone to really do their job so that
Yes.
you can execute yours as well. The main thing is obviously you doing your job. But if you're gonna start fighting for wardrobe, you're gonna start, it delays things, and time is
Yes.
money. This thing, I mean, khona abantu abafikela, I always consider the people I work with because first and foremost, mina ngakavuka endlini, someone was there at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
making eggs
Of course.
and the whole breakfast. You know what I mean? So it's those things where what's yazin.
Yeah.
Everyone sacrificed to be here,
course.
and I really feel like, passion is a big thing in this job.
Yeah.
Because uzoizwa izokukhathaza if you're not passionate. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's long
Yeah.
hours, we're waiting, we are doing things 20 times, before we can move on to the next. So kuningi, like people look at it obviously kuhle,
the end
seeing the
product.
final product, yabona?
Yeah.
But it's really mostly just A lot.
I
Offset,
definitely
yeah.
relate.
Interesting. And you know, it's very interesting when I'm seeing that, you know, you are a person of humility and you understand ubuntu kuyo yonke into oyenzayo. That's exactly what you emulate. Even we can see that through your characters as well, which makes me want to ask, you know, on Josie, on the
Kings of
the Kings of
Joberg.
Joberg,
Yes.
the role in which you're given there.
Yes.
What made you make that choice, and what were the intentions behind that? What inspired you to accept that role?
So that role for me, first and foremost, I accepted because it was a great opportunity for all of us involved. Because
And you were shooting with your brother.
yes,
Yeah.
you understand. Like,
Okay.
And he was
one
your
of the
brother
great
in the thing
opportunities,
as
you know,
well.
that I count in there. But firstly, I
was
mean, I get to
lovely.
work with my brother. And secondly, you know, Mr. Shaw had called me in and sat me down and told me about this vision, you know, he has, you know, going bigger and better and whatever, you know. So literally season 1 is a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how we all got on board. He told us what he's got this thing he wants to do out of his own pocket, and he just, you know, he's picking the players that he wants to be a part of. So now, I was honored, really, you know, because we hadn't worked together. He's, you know, told me that he's seen my work from obviously a distance, and he obviously had worked with my brother. So just the opportunity, you know, to be on such a show. And to see it even now, because on Netflix it's one of the few originals, because most of my Netflix shows right now are actually shows that do exist, but they are mostly international shows that have suddenly taken local faces and redoing the shows.
Yeah,
So there's a
noticed.
few that are real originals.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
It's mostly just recycled work, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like this.
So I love the fact that, you know, I get to be on an original like Kings of Joberg, and something that when we started it as a pilot, akekho umuntu wayazi ukuthi 3 seasons down the line, you
My
know,
goodness.
it would still exist. I mean, the fact that even Mr. Shaw himself is no longer here,
Yeah.
but he left us that, you know.
It's a
So
legacy.
even this time around, when we were all on set, it was all about him. It was for him. You know, everyone was there, was like, "Shh, whatever,
doing
let's
this for
just make
him."
sure we do this for him, you know, because
I love
he
that.
gave us this like so many years ago.
Yeah.
So it's honoring to know what, you know, kunamathuba anjalo, where there are people that can really, you know, see you from a distance and say, actually,
I wanna
you know,
work
I
with
wanna see you on something, you know, test you on something and whatever. So
That's an
And
incredible lesson.
sorry, Lovey. Did your life change in any way after Netflix? Because there are actors that have said after they got on Netflix,
Yes.
because it's international, right? It's an international platform, that their lives changed even further than
Yeah.
just being a local actor. So
I
did your life change in any way?
I mean, I don't necessarily know about life changing, you know, in that sense. But obviously, you know, you get to understand, you know, that it becomes, you know, more of an opportunity, more exposure, and so forth. But you know, it's something where now it's still a work in progress, you know,
Okay.
because our Netflix is not the same as global Netflix. That you
Okay.
have to
I
understand.
did not know
We
that.
are a local Netflix.
Excuse
Our
me.
rates,
Elaborate.
everything that I'm speaking of, we are not getting the global Netflix salaries. So we are not there yet.
Excuse
Remember-
me.
I heard
See,
someone
branch,
say this.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
remember
We
social
are-
media.
You know what I mean?
It was
we are
buzzing.
under a big brand. I accept that. It's like us
Yeah.
saying we are under Hollywood, but if life changing, that would now be life changing.
Abdul?
I think I heard
Life
somewhere.
changes through,
I
you know,
know.
financials,
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Abdul
that's
Khoza.
changing.
What are you
Yes.
saying to me right now?
I'm not saying no, lalela, ngifuna ungizwe kahle. I'm not saying Netflix is
Ngizwile
not
now.
paying.
Yes.
They paying well
Yes.
enough.
But
you know,
not-
like, but
not
all I'm
international
saying
rates.
is we are still not compared to, you know, it's not like
International.
everywhere, like Netflix all over the world is on the same salary brackets or paying the same rates. No, they're not.
I'm
If
so
I was to go
hurt.
to Netflix, maybe Nigeria, maybe I'd even earn more than I would earn here.
Excuse me?
Guys,
I'm
honestly,
serious.
I
It
did
really
hear this.
goes with
I actually heard it
where,
not long ago.
where is the industry?
Guys.
Where is our industry? You understand? Otherwise, Bella, that means Netflix would crash. Uba ungasangafuni ukusebenza anywhere else if you know ukuthi there is someone also
it hurts, Lisa.
$1 million per
I know.
episode.
I also complain, you know, even just the entertainment culture itself in South Africa versus overseas is not the same. I mean, people are fighting for that. There are incredible, I mean, obviously it's not good to mention names, but there are incredible big icons who are fighting for the conversations now, you know. Actors deserve what they deserve.
Yes.
You know, so it is due.
No, man, you guys are not appreciated.
But I like the fact that
it's gonna be a long fight for
True.
actors, to be honest.
In South Africa.
Today we're talking Saga still fighting, you know, issues of years ago. Actors are still, you know, sort of fighting the laws that have existed for years. And it's sad, that part of the industry, you know, in terms
Burst
of
my
how slow
bubble,
it is versus how much growth we are seeing, you know, with our own eyes as an industry. Because that's another thing, you know, like I would hate to want to lie about, you know, how hard it really is to break through. You know, when you say breakthrough, that's why you will find people still saying that they do wish to obviously break through internationally, because so much becomes better, you know, like and isn't they fun, you know. We are a growing industry slowly, you know, as we are, but asakafiki lapho, man. You know, we're still far from there. We're still far from, you know, getting a gig and you can chill for a good 3 years. Knowing that you paid good. Even if I get on the international tomorrow, I could act right next to Denzel, but trust me, I am nowhere near the Denzel bracket. Even if that movie starts with both of us till the end, and I'm right there by his side.
That's crazy.
Believe you me, I'm making Denzel's money.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
what I'm doing right there. But I'm obviously having the opportunity to, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? As an artist,
You should like
that
the
is
money
more
as
than the
well.
paycheck for me. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So hence I'm saying, ile hlobo industry wazi ukuthi manganayo passion yayo le, and you want to wait via money, like it's not that. You know what I mean? I mean, for me, I won't lie to you. I have understood that so much that I got a time where Nami, I wasn't getting work, you know, because there are times like that in this industry, and these are things that we must speak of, that people don't really see, because, you know, sometimes abantu like the bakubona mhlambe usavela even on screen, but you'll find you gone long ago, because obviously we're shooting ahead, we're doing all of this, right?
Yes.
So there was a good time, Nami, I wasn't working, especially after The Wife. After The Wife, I sort of went through a bit of a gray patch in my career, to be honest with you.
Oh my goodness.
To a point where, I mean, I was auditioning, man. I was doing self-tapes. I was driving from Mpumalanga, Joberg, doing auditions, go back.
Oh my God.
And there's nothing. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm chilling there and I'm like, man, what is this?
And
Like,
when there's nothing, there's also no money.
And was this the first
Do you
time in your
understand?
career where things were...
It really, I mean, it really was, because the first time this thing happened for me, I went back to my old job as a fireman.
okay.
Yes, because it has happened before, right?
Okay.
The first time Yenzega, I just done your intersections. I did a film with Abo Kabomo and
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
so forth.
Intersections as
So
well.
when that drought came for the first time in my life, I mean, my daughter was gonna be born in like 4 or 5 months.
Oh my
My
goodness.
firstborn. So I ngiyayibona leyo nto ukuthi mina there's no ways. You know, as amahlo uyafika la
And I don't
mina
have
ngihleli
money.
la eGoli ngisacabanga ukuthi when is the next gig coming? So I was like, yes, fair enough, let me go back home. Maybe this thing's not working. But at least I gave it a shot, right?
Yeah.
Like I was okay with that. You know, ngiyazi ukuthi, because one thing yangenza mina ngaphoqeleka, I probably would have not started the industry even after winning the show had I not felt the guilt of ukuthi bangivotele, man. You know, there's people that actually took their time and said they want to give me an opportunity.
Yeah.
So they wanted to see something, right? So now I felt like I owe them. You know, it wasn't even owing myself more than anything. It was owing them. All those people that gave you this opportunity.
Yes.
And I went there, and that's why intersections and all of that. Then things went dry. When things went dry, I was like, no, I went
Going
saying, I'm
back.
going back home, you know? And I went back home, you know? I went back home, even went back to my old job as a fireman, you know? And it wasn't
After
easy.
being a
Wasn't it-
celebrity...
yes.
Listen to
Chana.
me, it was not
Oh, my
easy.
word.
It must be
You
really
understand?
hard.
Imagine, here I am, from
to work and
intersections,
people want
jumping back into a
pictures.
taxi, going to work. They're like, aren't you? I'm like, yeah.
That guy.
That's
So,
How did you then go back?
you know, if there's one thing I am blessed with in this life, Mina, is knowing that I don't, at any point in my life, I don't mind eating humble pie.
Yeah.
You know,
love that,
I
yeah.
don't forget where I come from.
Yeah,
Like it's not you know, like I mean, if you had to see me on the streets tomorrow, trust me, don't feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
I'm working on something.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I
You
love
know,
that.
you don't know that.
I
I'm
love
working on
that.
something.
You know what,
Yeah.
guys? This is also good for an
So-
aspiring actor as well, because this is the truth. This is how this
Yeah,
industry
this is
is.
the stuff that
Like,
you
how
need
do
to
you deal
hear.
with how do you deal
Definitely.
with rejection? I think this is
Yeah.
it. This is it. He's just answering our
Yeah.
questions without even being asked.
Definitely.
But I wish
True.
everyone had your mindset because I mean, you know, it's a pride thing.
Yeah,
You feel
it
me?
is. Definitely.
Especially when you've done a lot in the industry, and for you to say that you're okay with,
Going back and
Yeah,
doing what he
that's-
knows.
So
I mean,
that's
for
quite
me,
commendable.
you know what? Like the thing is, life will inspire art.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I've learned that without having to have. Sometimes I always say, mhlambe ngaba nenhlanhla yokuthi ngingayifundeli. Because mhlambe kube ngayifundela, I would have felt like it's something that I own. And not something that God owns.
Okay.
But I know for a fact that this gift is not mine. At
sure.
any point in time, I could lose it tomorrow.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
then what? You understand? I mean, I'm just fortunate to go to while I was alive, God showed me that you have a gift.
Yeah.
You know, and He put me in places where the gift was needed and could work for me.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, put me in places where, you know, the gift would now serve His people, because
Yeah.
that's how a gift is. God gives you a gift to serve His people,
serve. For
not
sure.
yourself.
Yes.
Right? So sometimes a gift can actually starve you. Because it's not meant to feed you, vele. It's not for you. Like, don't think that gift is to make you money. The gift is for the people. Always, right?
Always.
So it's something where, because it's a spiritual thing, man, arts. You know, whether we're talking music, we're talking you being a painter, we're talking you any form of art, right? So for Nami to understand, ukuthi, as much as Ginga Yang is calling that could, you know, help me know that I have a gift or whatever, God did it for me. So it's still it's a gift I know belongs to Him. So for me, you know, after not getting work for a good 3-4 years, till now, guys, I haven't actually. The last time I got a job was on the wife. To be
Are you
honest with you,
serious?
yeah,
What? No.
Not
I'm
the
being
Josie-
honest.
not the Josie
My
King-
last job,
Kaya
last time I
Backpackers?
ever signed a good contract having auditioned and what was the wife, because everything after that has just, I'm fortunate in a sequel. I'm fortunate Shaka Zulu has a sequel. I'm fortunate KOJ has a sequel. But otherwise I've never had work since the wife.
Oh my
And
Never
the
been.
Kaya
And I've been
Backpackers?
auditioning.
And you've been auditioning.
And I've been going, yes, I've been auditioning. Guys, I've
Abdul.
never been hired after the wife.
Up to
Really?
get
So
out.
that should tell you, no, there's no saying how long a grey patch can be.
Yeah.
Right? But during this time, njengoba ngaqashwa kanje, I'm busy. I mean, let me not, I don't want to make it sad for people. It's, hey,
Yeah.
man,
I'm
I'm telling you,
struggling.
I lost this. I lost a lot. You can imagine not making bills
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that long.
Yeah.
When last did you remember the wife? Season 2, not even 3.
That was last
so
year.
Think about it, right? Let it sink in. Yeah?
Sheesh. That is a long
So
time.
exactly, you know what I mean. So you know, within that time, one thing that has happened to me, besides being, you know, blessed enough to spend, you know, enough time with my son, because, you know, he was born while I was still sitting at home, not working. You know what I mean?
Blessing in
Watching these
disguise.
shows, and I'm like, hey, my boy.
Blessing in
Babu wako, I'm gonna
disguise.
go back. Nah, Babu wako. So imagine, you understand? My son's turning 2 next month.
Sheesh.
So
It's
I
been
raised
that
him just
long.
watching, sitting at home. He's turning 2 next month.
Ah, blessing in disguise.
And I have not
though.
worked that much. You understand? So, you know, the thing is, Mina, one thing I'm saying, Guti, I was inspired by is the fact that during this time, I actually found or discovered, Guti, I actually have another passion,
Okay.
which is writing. So I've
Music.
since
Wow.
no,
Music
besides
or
music,
film?
No, besides
music,
music.
yes,
Okay.
I write music is very therapeutic to me,
Yeah.
and I constantly do music. But then I started writing my own scripts.
Wow.
Okay.
Started teaching myself. I'm a self-taught writer, guys. I
What?
went through
You're
everything.
self-taught
I was on
everything.
YouTube. I was
Yeah.
doing this. I was watching, learning, guys. I learned. I went through the most. I've been learning, teaching myself at home.
Oh my
Today, I
God.
can tell you now, there is no story that I cannot write.
Excuse
You
me.
understand? I'm proud to say I've got some scripts that I've written that I can't wait to make.
Oh my
Because
word.
God, I like, you know, I always say God has led the way because funny enough, I always say, in my life, angazi ngawuthela umsebenzi, I've only had callings. It was a calling to be in the army. It was a calling to be a fireman. And it's a calling right now to be in the arts. You understand? So I feel like God places me in these because he knows that, you know, I will find the passion for it and there will be an impact that I will make to his people
Yeah.
through the places he puts me in. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So it's like that where njengamanje, you know, I'm actually shooting something. Funny enough, I've got something I want to start shooting in one of these scripts this week, you know. And
Nice.
one thing
Okay.
that I would rather do for myself, even right now, actually, Joberg, I would rather call out for people that really do love what I do in a sense of they could come on board in support of what I do now.
Yeah.
Which is my own
Yes.
things, because I want to
love that.
produce my own things now. You know what I mean? I'm tired, not only for me, guys, but I mean, I'm talking about in this industry. My own brother has faced a grey patch
Yes.
where he's suddenly not getting work. My last
Yeah.
brother's job was Shaga, to be honest.
Oh my God,
That's
the
the
queen. Yes.
How long has the queen ended?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
But he's not getting work. So what do you call it? Like who? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
colors tea. Like how long will we cry? So and I'm making examples of us because it's safe for me to mention his name.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what he goes through because
Yeah.
we go through it together.
Yeah.
So you can imagine we are both the oldest brothers in our family and we are both not working for this long. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that alone for me channeled me to say, Yazin, guys, this is not going to work because besides him, my other circles of actors and people that I know in the industry come back to cry about the same thing.
Yeah.
Industry is scarce.
Yeah.
So then what do we do? Do we then go and say we're not enough?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, remember that the same talent they hire us with is the same talent we can go home with.
Yeah.
We do go home with.
Yes.
So why should we let our talent get dust
Yeah.
and, you know, die out when we
Sit
are
and
still
wait
there
for them,
and
yeah.
have it with us? So for me,
Yes.
that's what I know. It's like someone who has equipment. So I've come to collaborate with guys now. This is what I do now.
Yeah.
So I've decided to start calling up all these people that I know in the industry that I work with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So and so got a camera. Let's call him up. Let's see if he's available.
wow.
So and so is, you understand? So actors come together,
Yes.
crew come together, but let's shoot our own things because there's
shoot our
many
own
platforms.
things.
There's
Yeah,
film
yeah.
festivals. There's, you know what I mean? There's
Yes.
YouTube is a
Yeah.
big platform
Yeah.
right now.
Yes.
Like all these platforms that, you know, were not there before, I feel
Yeah.
like give us an opportunity to fight differently now.
Yeah.
Because we can't fight the thing of maybe we start striking. So strike up isingasebenzi vele.
Yeah.
Uzothiwa strike kuphi wena?
Exactly.
Usofa wena. Uzothiwa uma ekuthiwa strike uyostrikani wena
Yeah.
ungasebenzi. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
Thola ukuthi nalo set ayisekho.
ayikho,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm saying we are the work. So asiwenze
Yeah.
ke umsebenzi. Let's bring ourselves together. Like, you know, it's said ukuthi vele ekugcineni into eningi esisikhala ngazo is budget. I had this conversation not long ago with, you know, another bunch of actors and I was like, bafethu ngicela senze le. And everyone was in tune and then someone came to cry and said, but budgets. I was like, okay, hold on. Do we really need to get budgets to fund our own passion? Are you not passionate in acting? Do you need to get paid each time you have to act? Then how passionate are you?
Yeah.
If you can't do it without money, then it's not a passion.
It's not.
It's
Yeah.
just something that
It's
you
a
it's a party
Yeah.
trick. I don't know what it is, but mawangwazi ukuyenza without imali, then just know that thing is not
That's
a
not,
passion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I know with Mina, I'm different in that sense. I'm going to fight. Just know right now, as I'm telling you, Guti, I have not worked for this long. The next time you see me, you are yourself will know that Yazin, this person is a fighter.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creating your
I'm
own
a
job.
fighter, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I like that.
So, and the thing is, you know,
to ownership now.
yes.
That's the
Yeah.
importance of it all. I feel like this conversation for people that are watching, they have to realize that it's that these are the tips, that you have to know in order to get into the industry. But at the same time, I think there's a whole lot that people don't know about, and you're revealing that to them. Now, it is about getting in there and being hired, but also, guys, let's think ownership. Singabantu bamnyama okanye siyang or whatever the background is, ownership.
Definitely.
It's important more than anything, because you can know that you are left with that.
Yeah.
Should anything happen, that's your izobalilifa labantwana bakho,
Yeah.
bazawutya kulo.
Yeah.
So then, since we are talking about that, how do people now prepare themselves, when they get into the industry? Look, but ayo fairy tale, we've been listening to the journey.
Yeah.
It's a tough journey, right? Now, how do we take them through the process of becoming that top actor as well,
Well, first, njengoba ngisho mina, my passion and my dedication is signature to everything that might have been recognized or, mhlambe yathandwa abantu, sibeke kanjalo. Because I don't put myself entweni if I'm not going to give you my 1,000%, So there are roles I've taken because I loved the story that much, even though the money wasn't good, but that story mattered to me. I want to be part of that story. You know what I mean? I love powerful stories. I really do. Hence, I'm saying, there's shows that I can pass, because, I really have to find myself nami, ngine message engizwayo ngalento zami, you know what I mean? I always say I can't sell it if I'm not sold. I can't lie that much, like I'm not that good. You know what I mean? But I can lie about something that means it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because even with acting, acting is more about reacting, and the less you have to act is the easier you find yourself walking through, so you try and eliminate the acting parts and just simply react, that makes it very real to anyone, because you're obviously listening to each other, you are in the moment.
Yes. But I want to backtrack a bit. I'm sorry, what you said was too profound for us to just pass it by. With what you're doing right now, your project, so are you writing and you're acting?
I'm writing, I'm acting, I'm directing, I'm producing. You understand? But that's something that we all can do. Because let me tell you something. Even as an actor, you don't just act. You are there. You are checking your own wardrobe sometimes. You know what I mean? In most cases, you know what I mean? Me now, I don't mind. Like, it's not good wardrobe, whatever. But I know it's okay. My shirt was like this. You know what I mean? So I'm about to pick this up. And is now my actor because I'm not alone. But I'll remember that. Hey, man, hold on. I had this because, you know what I mean? So I'm doing your own continuity. You editing scripts before you even, do the dialogue, because there's some things that might not work and you're like, Yazin, let's change this. That's writing. You are writing and editing a script. You're already doing this on a daily without you saying I'm gonna be a writer. No, you already it's too hands-on in acting, because you are writing, by changing the script. You are doing wardrobe by doing, continuity in this way. You are doing all those things, editing yourself, by even, I've been able to even have good conversations or good opportunities with my director where I can suggest, because I always come, Nami, gizo creator better. Now I have ideas.
Yeah.
You have ideas as a director. I have ideas. That's why we come together. You know what I mean? Like, we need to collaborate. I'm not your puppet. You're not gonna tell me, lift a hand. You know what I mean? Now I'm really a puppet, But you trust me, I trust you. We trust each other, we let it go. You know what I mean? So it's a matter of, I love when you get to experience that as well. Direct Tembile, now Tembile Nitembene, you guys are sharing ideas and it's working. You know? So that's how it is, because we literally are there as like everyone here is a creator. You know, we are going to create. This day is given to us to create something from paper or from an idea that now we're gonna turn into something tangible.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it takes everyone's effort. Everyone's collaboration matters. Everyone's, that's why even your smallest participation yabantu abafana nama extra or whatever. Angithatha kancane leyo nto. Without them, there is nothing.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Without those extras that have to play in the background, trust me.
Even the
you
walking
won't
past-
Yes. It will
Yeah.
not make sense.
Yes, you understand. So everyone matters, So
Yeah.
even indlela engathi mina, it's one thing where my only problem is I wish I was the kind of person that no, I can't wish on that on myself. Kahle nginenkinga yokuthi mina I can't handle injustice. Naturally. You understand? Whether in friendships, whether in whatever space you put me in.
Yeah.
If it's injustice, it's injustice.
Yeah.
So if I see someone being treated ill, I will speak on it. I will intervene. You know what I mean? Like ngeke So it's one of those things where that's why I've never had the experience of friends that could probably hit their partners
Women,
around
yeah.
me, because angivumi into efana leyo. Yabona singamane ushaye kwamina kasilweni sonke. You know what I mean?
Rather.
Because it makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm one person who emasethini I do get affected mangabe khona izinto engekho right ezenzakalayo. Hence ngiyabakhalela abantu that could come in bezoba ama extra and something mhlawumbe uthole ukuthi they're not given the right
proper
treatment.
respect.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So because we all matter there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah. But I'm looking forward to also having the opportunity to correct those things in my own production.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
those are the type of wars that end up making you look vele kuthiwa uwena inkinga.
Yes.
Ngoba lulwela wonke umuntu, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fightela abantu this way, that way, and like I say, unfortunately abanye bethu we cannot ignore into mayingekho right. Siyazama ukuyilungisa as calm as possible, but kuyomela ilungiseke,
Yeah.
I mean, having your own production is one part that we can highlight as a great achievement, know. But now, with that said, how do people, get involved? Like you're saying, you'd like people to look out for your work.
Yes.
What is coming up? What's the plan? I think you've already started with what inspired you to do this.
Yes.
Ownership above everything, but what's coming? What's the whole deal?
Kuningi. I mean, there's so many colorful projects that I have, from features to short films to ama series. But it's basically because Nami, I feel like instead of complaining, I rather do something.
Yeah.
Because then they'll ngithi angithole umsebenzi, for example, or if you get the roles, it's the ones engikhuluma ngawo, so it's sexually or it's something ubona ngathi izongiqhatha nezingane zami lento, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So rather correct it by literally making your own
thing.
because there's no other way. Like hence, even as an actor, at times maybe people even might not, I don't know, feel okay with you handling certain matters at that level. You know what I mean? Whether we're talking salaries, whether we're talking contracts or whatever the case is, but it's not easy to have a voice usai actor.
Yo, it's difficult.
In a production, trust me, you might have good intentions, but you definitely do not want to go there. You know?
Yeah.
So ingakho ngithi, for me, if ever I really do believe that I am meant to fight for those that I will fight for in life, then I have to change my position.
Of course.
Yeah, you have to create that
I have
platform
to change
yourself.
my position. I have to place myself in a place where I can actually now speak and sit in the same room as those that I need to address,
Yes.
certain matters that happen on sets
Yeah.
or whatever the case is. So kukanjalo. That's why
Very
I
smart.
feel like my growth is not even for me. Hence I'm saying it, when God says you have a gift, trust me, it's not for you.
Yeah.
You are in trouble once you know you have a
You're
gift.
like a healer.
Because you must do something.
Yes.
You understand? So for me right now, my gift of writing has to give so many actors work. and so many crew and so many personnel, so many baningi abantu kufanele ngibasize. You understand?
Big responsibility.
It's a big responsibility, but I'm willing because nami instead of ukuthi ngikhale ngicomplaining ngiyibuka into eyenzekalayo,
something.
I need to
What are you
correct
doing
it.
about
So how do
it?
you
Yeah.
navigate around all of those? You wear many hats. You're producing, you're directing, you're acting, you're in music. But then how do you? Are there any best moments in those? You would say you would choose Ndokba, okay, being a producer, I've learned something very, very valuable.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really per se delivered a project. You understand? I'm in the works, like I said. I'm shooting something already. But shooting experience, I'm coming to understand exactly what it is that I probably would favor or whatnot. But like I said, Mina, for me, whatever challenges come, I'm willing because I have the passion. I mean, that's the thing about life. There's no job or career or path ongayihamba that doesn't have hard work. It's just the type of hard work you choose, but everything is hard work. So I mean, I choose this type of hard work because I have got passion for it. Ngiyafuna ukuyenza, ngiyafuna ukubhala, ngiyafuna ukubona ama-actor delivering amazing performances because we're giving them great stories to tell. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Eventually, but so far I'm hungry for everything.
Oh, wow.
Awudlala usofa ndoda. Hlala nje no 3 years plus uzicabange ukuthi wenzani.
True.
And can I put you on the spot? Abdul, ngicela umsebenzi. I'm an actress.
Yes.
Ngicela umsebenzi good.
Shoot your shot.
Ngizoyidinga nje i-database. Angifuni uqamba manga. I mean, I look forward to working with so many people out there that are hungry as I am. And
Starving.
as you say, ukuthi nawe as someone who's passionate about film, hey, let's work.
Let's work.
I'm not ayazini. Mina ngifuna abantu, ngifuna amasoja man. I'm a
Okay.
soldier.
I'm a soldier.
Yebo. Nami ngifuna amasoja man. Abantu abazayo ukuthi yazini. We'll get through it. You know what I mean? So
So
trust
we can
me.
work.
Sizosebenza.
Thank
And
you.
I'll challenge you. That's
Of
the thing,
course.
because I don't ngifuna mandla umuntu omuhle. Hayi. Andidla the opposite.
Yeah,
Trying to
opposite.
say.
Yeah, I always say.
It's
Take
quite
off the wig.
challenging, isn't it? Plan, for an example, Lisa, I think you have been put in positions where you're playing a person who's completely different to who you are.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah,
on
yeah,
some
yeah,
of your roles, it was quite impressive. Do you even have a way of dealing with that? Do you plan into Lisa and
Yes, I think Abdul can agree with me that acting, you shouldn't care about whether you look ugly or whatever. It has nothing to do with what you look like. You need to be comfortable and just deliver.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We're here to serve.
I mean,
Not there to look pretty.
exactly. You
Yeah.
understand? So
Yeah.
for me as well, I really like that. Like, it's little things that can make people, sort of just believe in what you're doing because
Yeah.
they can see the little efforts that you've made. You
and
know
also
what I
believe
mean?
in themselves in turn.
Yes.
That's
I'm
super
curious
incredible.
to know about your music. I didn't even know that it's something that you tap into.
Run,
What
run,
kind of
run,
music?
run.
See.
Run, run.
You
Do
know
that
music?
song? Yeah, that's
Really?
I mean, I do
What is
music.
it?
Yeah, ngiyawenza umculo bafethu. I do hip hop actually.
Really?
Yeah, awuyizwa
Crazy.
le voice
Okay.
ayikho deep enough.
Are we gonna give it a beat or
So
what?
I do hip hop, but I sing and rap.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
You see-
So can you
Sing and
sing?
rap? Yeah. I
So you
sing
can
and
sing?
rap,
She's
yeah.
gonna idols judge you now
I can
if we
sing
can do that.
and rap, So and usually, I mean, mostly I use Venek,
Okay.
'cause,
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
ngikhuluma nabantu bami,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'd
I
actually
love
love
music.
to hear some of your stuff.
Music is one of my most powerful healing pills in life.
Okay.
Like, so I respect it that much, to a point where I didn't want to do it just because I'm in the industry. I'm very close. I mean, I could easily jump over to music because
Yeah.
people know the name or whatever.
Yeah.
No. I sebenza kanjalo, So hence I've never tried, doing any music that was popular besides anything that I understand.
Oh,
And
okay.
I used to be a poet back in school.
Okay, makes sense.
So hip hop became the closest thing that I could jump on. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ngabukhuni kuyorhyme lapha kwi-gospel yabo.
But you
And
are
such things.
in a sense delivering a certain gospel in people's lives.
yes,
Because
yes,
with the music,
yes,
to be
yes.
honest, if we would specifically discuss that run, I really think that people would not think that there's a big story behind any line an artist. There's a story behind every line. I think if I'm not mistaken, that run, you were telling people, Baleka, if you are facing a problem, Baleka, if you morning like, if you if I'm not Baleka, run to your destiny. Is that what's up in that song?
Yeah. So you know, umculo ukhamba. You know, like art is ukhamba really. So you know, you give it to people with the intention that it will heal them and change their lives. So it's like, you know, I want them to also receive it in that way. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I can give you medication now, but if I don't believe that this can heal you, nor you believe that it can heal you, it will be like drinking water.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Oh wow.
What would you say your biggest achievements are? I know that you've won a SAFTA, and what is a golden? Okay, you tell me actually.
Yes.
What have your biggest achievements been in the industry?
I mean, you know what? For me, to be honest with you, this might even sound ngazukuthi mhlambe ngiyazakhela, but you know, my biggest achievement has been presence in my kids' lives. You know, because this industry, man, you know, I always had this thing where I would imagine if my kids would ever have to watch me as someone who exists on a screen.
Yeah.
Goodness.
You understand?
Ooh, okay.
So to know that, you know, ngihlezi, you know, ngithandazela ukuthi, hey man, I need to be in my kids' lives. I need to constantly be in my kids' lives. I think for me, that's one thing, you know, that is, you know, a good achievement, you know, for someone in the industry, you know.
Okay.
Just because I love family, I love my kids, man. So,
I've noticed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
you know,
that is so
so
profound.
I would hate to not be a present father.
So that goes beyond a
Yeah, the
SAFTA
accolades.
win.
Beyond anything.
You know what I mean? Like,
I feel you. And then with you and your brother, like, did he see you on screen and he was like, I also want to try this? Like, how did it end up that
how
you guys
did
were
we-
both just actors?
Well, kwenzeke in its own ways. Ngoba yena he got in as a presenter. At the
okay.
time, they were looking for someone to replace Nontlethema on that other
Oh
Hollywood
my goodness.
something show where they ended up getting Dineo.
Okay.
Oh, which one is that, Gonch?
The
Dineo
queen,
Mokete.
the sister.
Mokete,
Oh,
they got Dineo
yes,
Mokete.
yes,
So
yes,
Dineo got the
yes,
gig,
yes.
and then my brother was like, you know, one of the finalists, so that's how they called him up
Okay.
and told him, hey, we liked you.
Yeah.
We actually have
You're
something.
older, right?
No,
Or
he's older.
older?
Oh, really?
Older.
So you did it first?
No,
You
I
an
was-
actor first?
I mean, I acted after him.
Oh, really?
When I won weekly class act
Oh.
in 2011, my brother was already in the industry.
Really?
Oh,
He
okay.
was
I don't know
already
why I thought
doing
you were
Channel
along-
O, Gold Diggers, Zanzi Rides. There's a lot of these shows that were happening back then.
Okay.
So now, as far as the
Ngiyanja.
accolades go themselves, naming a few, the SAFTAs, what are some of those experiences that are still highlights to you? You know, I mean, you definitely are proud of yourself
Yes.
for being recognized
Yeah.
and being awarded. You know, for the hard work that now you're saying that your journey, as far as your journey has taken you. I think it's quite inspiring to even find yourself, to understand that I think you are detaching yourself from the normal idea of what an actor is, fame, money, power,
yes,
whatever.
yes.
You have so much humility. So like what are the highlights that went into all the awards that came your way that you can speak about right now?
I guess the fact that I was still passionate enough to still work as hard as I do.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, none of those awards ever stopped me from wanting to always do better. Also because if you understand that my journey for me, first and foremost, angifundelang acting, right?
Yes.
And then suddenly I'm winning this competition where I'm in an industry of professionals, you know, and now I have to be, you know, acting with these amazing performers that I grew up watching myself. Kuning, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo. So
Finding yourself on set with your idol.
you understand? So kuningi, but at the same time, you know, I'm humble enough to learn every day I'm on set, right? Because I want to know more. Because obviously now I was just thrown in the deep end. Competition, hey, industry, you know.
Yeah.
So I learn every day. Hence, I'm saying, even, you know, still teaching myself, you know, how to be a better writer, how to be a better this. So for me, it's one of those things in fact where I'm satisfied with knowing Guti. I was humble enough, you know, to still be the same person that I was before the awards. You know, I'm the same person who is able to, you know, ask for help, you know, the next person, work together, you know, like get on sets like it's sponge, you know, it's lindenji, absorb by young kind, you know, because now I always get excited, you know, a new role means a new completely different world. You know, you know, so it's an exciting thing to jump into these shoes, you know, and you know, if you're passionate and you know, nami inhlanhla yokuhlangana nama actors in my industry or in my career that were also still passionate. Because you imagine uzohlala nomuntu ongasafuni uku-acta. You know what I mean? Akanasikhathi sakho, you try to run lines, ume kancane, zokubona esethini wena. You know what I mean? So if I had that experience, then, you know, nami yangilimaza. You know, hence nami, the way I will treat umuntu ozoba, whether an extra, whether they are just literally in my shot to be shot by me, I will make sure though that there's you know, an engagement, there's an you know, a relationship and chemistry we create. You know, there's a way we can make this work for both of us. I feel you know, sometimes I'll give extras lines. Because, I mean, honestly, because I want you to be like, I want you to feel like you know me. If it says you know me, then show you know me. You know what I mean? Say one thing that, you know, just makes people know this person knows me for a long time. You know what I mean? As opposed to man, and the whole time you're quiet. You've got a voice, man. Don't you have a voice? And next thing I hear, this guy has got a good voice. I'm like, hey, Baba, I need that voice. You know, I need that. It's got a loud voice. It's good. So I like that because Nabo, you know, it's they have an opportunity, but it also depends when nobody opportunity.
Yes, of course.
Because we can have the opportunity to yes, it's an opportunity to zoba nami, but there's not much that they've given you. So it might feel like, you know, it doesn't give you much.
Yeah,
like it doesn't help your next. Because it's almost like every role is your last audition, so to speak. You know, we say that. So in Denjalo, with naming swings, at least bonagale something. You know, someone might say, I liked that guy that was with you on whatever show that did that one line. I'm like, yeah, that's my guy. Hey, take my guy there, you know. So yeah,
wow,
this is I wanna. You know. Sorry.
I'm saying this is incredible. The arts itself is incredible that you can be in a position where you can create for someone else, lend a hand. That's really good.
Yeah. And I want to say, Abdul, with that being said, good luck on your journey. I think we can wrap up now. I think you have dropped some valid points.
Very valid.
Having you over has been an absolute privilege. I think this was an amazing conversation.
Very educational.
And very educational, right?
Here we have the news update. The Joberg Theatre is deeply saddened by the passing of the renowned South African playwright Abdul Khoza, whose profound impact of the theatre and society has resonated for generations. As an institution that has long celebrated and honored Khoza's remarkable contributions to the world of theatre, Joberg Theatre joins the global artistic community in mourning to his loss. So this is someone who played a big role in the film and theatre industry. Actually, the whole structure of Utsotsi was influenced by him, and he also played a big role in the apartheid. So yeah,
that's quite incredible. Do you ever have those interactions when you meet those legends, like people who have made
Such a huge impact.
you know, impacts and made certain opportunities available to us. How do you feel when you have that opportunity to interact with them?
I mean, it's always a huge honor, you know, to meet, you know, abantu okhuluba bugela, you know, that are part of your childhood memories,
Yeah.
and so forth. So, you know, I mean, it's always an honor, like I say, kuba nje into eba isibusiso. You know, I mean, whoever thought that I would be here? You know, I mean, I didn't plan this route in my life. You know, I didn't see myself being in the industry, being an actor, even to think of it. You know, so ayikho into engangenzi, you know, ngifeel like, you know, God is, you know, really working, you know, with me and working for me there, you know. So yeah, like I'm humbled by everything, you know, opportunities, even these guys, you know, and the next time I'll be seeing you guys running your own TV shows and this and that.
I'll be acting
know what
under
I'm
you.
saying?
I'll
So
be acting
it's an honor,
Manifest
uklangana,
that.
you know, with people in the industry at any point in time, because
Yeah.
you know our bridges do cross again.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, of course.
So you know, it's all good. You know.
It's been an honor to
Thank
have
you
you,
so
Abdul.
Nah,
Bumping
And we're
others
not
as
just
being-
saying that, it really has.
no,
Yeah.
Nami, honestly,
Yeah.
I appreciate. You know, I wish we had more time.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot to
There's a
unpack.
lot.
You know?
Yo, basically
So-
industry.
Hey, it's Nancy Kakulu, but you know what? We're super grateful. It's been an absolute honor. Just like they said, it's Bambangazo Zosbini. From offset to onset, we'll be delivering more of real content of what happens when it comes to the film and arts life. I mean, man, do we not love the industry?
Of course.
We hate to love it.
Hey, wait. I love the spirit. I love the spirit.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys, do like, comment, subscribe, push the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we post. See you later.
From me, Speech, Lisa, Kanya, and of course our favorite guest, Abdul. It's a wrap. Till next
It's
time.
been good. Yes.
I